a scale of 1 to 10, how much impact will Clowney have on the Browns defense?
5-ish.
5-ish?
5-ish.
Okay. Not impressed?
No.
Skip, Clowney's going into his 7th season. Guys who have won their first Defensive Player of the Year going into 7 years or later in the last 20 years. Michael Strahan, Derrick Brooks, Jason Taylor, Charles Woodson, Troy Polamalu, and Terrell Suggs. All of those guys except Suggs are where, Skip? Do you envision Jadeveon Clowney being in that location?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm not writing it off.
He said that now that he has Myles Garrett, someone that can draw the double teams, he should be just fine. Okay, he played alongside J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt won his Defensive Player of the Year in when Clowney, because he won one before Clowney got there. In 2014, J.J. Watt had 20 and a half sacks, Defensive Player of the Year. Clowney got hurt after 2 games. In 2015, J.J. Watt had 17 and a half sacks, Defensive Player of the Year. Jadeveon Clowney had 4 and a half sacks. When Watt got hurt in 16 and 17, Watt had 6 sacks, 9 and a half. In 2018, Watt had 16 and a half sacks, Clowney had 9. So, do you believe Myles Garrett at this current time is a better player than J.J. Watt was from 2014 to 2018? Absolutely not. J.J. Watt, many people were saying he's about to become the best defensive player in the history of the game because he had won 3 Defensive Player of the Year in a 4-year span. You talking about things like LT. I know how you regard LT. You covered LT. You watched him up close, terrorize everybody, in not just the NFL, especially in the NFC East.
I agree.
And if you couldn't block him, you couldn't represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
When I look at Jadeveon Clowney and says, I got somebody that's going to take the double teams, what do you think J.J. Watt was saying? Bro, J.J. had 20 and a half sacks and you had 4.
I told you from the first day we started this show, September 6th of 2016, you're overrating J.J. Watt. I hear it, but I don't see it.
I say the same thing about Jadeveon Clowney. I think you're overrating him.
Okay.
Based on, and Skip, there's a lot of caveats that he kept saying, if. His rookie year, he played 2 games, and then he got hurt last year. And he missed all of last year. Basically, but he had no sacks in the first day he played. Skip, I don't see it. I don't see it. There's no way no one can convince me that Myles Garrett currently is a better player than what J.J. Watt was at his apex. No way. There are very few players that were better than J.J. Watt. You got to go back to LT. You got to go back to Reggie or Bruce Smith to say that a defensive player was better than J.J. Watt at his prime. Myles Garrett ain't even close to that.
Okay, but I do think Myles Garrett comes off the edge stronger than J.J. Watt does. And J.J. Watt's more of a tackle than an end to me, even though you can line him up.
But that's what's so amazing, Skip. There's no D tackle has ever had a 20 sack. He did it twice with Jadeveon Clowney.
I got it.
Well, he had 1 year before Jadeveon got there. But 17 and a half sacks, and Clowney had 4 and a half. 16 and a half, and Clowney had 9. So he's never had double-digit sacks. Only guy that won the Defensive Player of the Year without double-digit sacks, Ray Lewis did it twice, Luke Kuechly, and Derrick Brooks. But they play linebacker. You not winning Defensive Player of the Year without double-digit sacks.
Okay.
He's talking like he Aaron Donald. Now, if Aaron Donald had an off year and says, you know what, I feel reinvigorated, I'm healthy, I'm ready to go, I feel like I'm going to give back to myself, which is Defensive Player of the Year, okay. But Clowney has never been close to that.
Well, what happened to Aaron Donald in a playoff game at Green Bay on the frozen?
You know that man was hurt.
That's my point. Thank you very much. Okay, to answer Jenny's question, I'm going to go up to impact scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to go to an 8 here.
What?
If you want to go cherry on top or icing on cake, you can have it. But I believe that he makes this team a Super Bowl contender immediately. This team is on the rise and on the verge. And I told you before, I first guessed this about John Johnson III. I wanted my team to go after him. Nope. And they got him for $11 million.
Yeah.
He's one of the best safeties in football. And then
decided to say the slot corner for the Rams too.
Troy Hill. And he's one of the best slot corners. And they got him for like $5 million.
Yeah.
And I said, where's my team? We kept Jordan Lewis. Okay. Wow.
Well, you know, y'all didn't need anything.
Okay, and did I not bang this table for Jadeveon Clowney because I thought he would be a basement bargain on the open market, and it seemed like it took weeks. He was going to reset the market, and nobody wanted him because they view him the way you view him.
Yes.
The league was saying no to Jadeveon Clowney, right?
Yes.
And
his last full season, he had 3 sacks.
Okay, I'm saying go get him. I need him on my team. We could use that right now because, to me, he is a difference maker when he is healthy. And I'm going glass half full or maybe 3/4 full here. But as he said on his Zoom interview yesterday, the funny thing I tell people about my career is it started off slow because my first game I got hurt. His first game for the Houston Texans, he shattered his knee and ended up soon after needing that microfracture surgery,
Right.
which, as you know, it is no good.
It's hit or miss.
It is career threatening.
It's hit or miss. It is.
And since then, he's never been quite right. And he said, I made 3 Pro Bowls. And it's funny because I ain't never really been all the way healthy. And I agree with that. So if you tell me he's never going to be all the way healthy from this point on, you got me on this.
Because remember, Penny Hardaway said he had that surgery. He was never the same.
Was done.
Now, Bruce Smith had that surgery. And we know Bruce is the all-time sack leader with over 200 sacks. If I'm not mistaken, my friend Rod Woodson also had that surgery.
I think he did.
Yeah. So, Skip, it's hit or miss, and people don't understand. I mean, but they basically go in there and they drill holes and they let the blood seep down and it heals itself. So it's very hit or miss.
It's hit or miss. What I love about where Clowney is at this point in his career is he did get a little humbled here because he had to eat some humble pie. Like, I'm going to reset the market, and the market set him back on his heels.
It did.
And said no. And it left the one team that offered him the most money a year ago. They offered him much more money a year ago.
Right.
And he chose Tennessee, as he said yesterday, because the Browns were the Browns. Right. And they were still losers in his eyes because it was a clown show of coaches and coordinators.
And plus, Skip, he went with Vrabel. Vrabel was his position coach. He was his defensive coordinator. He had his best years with Mike Vrabel. Okay. So let's go back to something I know. Maybe I can get back onto that track, and then maybe I can reset the market.
Okay. He has extreme ability.
Oh, God.
And he just turned 28 2 months ago. So you can't tell me he's too old or the tank is empty or whatever. It's just not.
No.
And if he refills that tank, and if they get him back on track, he can make a difference for this team because Andrew Berry, for him, I have great respect because he's building a powerhouse, man. Every move he makes, I sit back and say, way to go.
Right.
That's good. That's good. That offense, as you know, it's loaded.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Baker came of age. You're not sure about that.
Let's start with that offensive line.
Okay, the offensive line is number one. And Odell is still there, and they keep talking about we're going to figure out how to get Odell back in the middle of this offense.
Odell need to walk. Y'all need to move on. Skip, it ain't work.
I wish they would, but the point is he's still there and Jarvis is still there, and they got 3 good one, they got 3 tight ends. And they don't have 1 running back. They got 2 really good ones who do very different things, but they can hurt you in so many ways.
Yes.
That's an offense. And this defense, when you added the safety and the slot corner, and they still got Grant Delpit, and they still got Greedy Williams and Denzel.
Denzel Ward. But they got a nice team.
And they had Tack McKinley to rush the passer also, be in the rotation. And Malik Jackson, I know he's kind of on the back end of his career, but to put him in the middle of that line, I think it's a really good football team. On paper right now, that's the best team in that division. I told you I need to see what the Ravens do in the draft because they have been relentlessly successful on draft day and night.
The Ravens are the Ravens.
Okay, well, that's why they are. And Ozzie still has a big hand in the Ravens.
He does.
And he has as great an eye for talent as anybody I have ever seen in this league. He is extraordinary at how he's been able to draft. See Lamar Jackson. I mean, who saw that coming? I didn't.
I mean, he drafted 3 players that's top 100 of all time. Jonathan Ogden, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. He got Suggs, the Defensive Player of the Year, that's going to be a Hall of Famer. You've mentioned Lamar Jackson.
Okay, so I want to see, because this draft is deep in receivers. There are a bunch of good ones outside the top 10-ish or so.
And Devontae Smith.
But I mean, you can keep going after Kyle Pitts. You can just keep going, and they're just everywhere. They're all over the place. So I want to see what the Ravens do. Do they go up for a receiver? Do they let a receiver fall? I just need to see the smoke clear and see what the Ravens
they're definitely going to have to go up, Skip. There's not going to be that quality. Not with Skip, they down in the 20s. It's hard to get now. Look, we've seen teams get great receivers, Randy Moss, Justin Jefferson. We've seen teams get, but it's hard when you start getting into the 20s. I don't know.
DK Metcalf.
I don't know if you're going to be able to get.
Okay, why did DK Metcalf fall? Because he dropped some balls.
He dropped some balls, yeah.
And maybe he looked a little stiff to people, like he's just too ripped, like he's carrying too much muscle.
Yeah.
But can he play? Yeah. So can you get him in the second round? Yep, you can. So Andrew Berry sums it up. He said, we're talking about Clowney, we love his relentless style of play. Yeah. He's one of the more disruptive players in the game. The run. True and true.
Yes.
True and true.
Yes.
But he has to be healthy. He had what I call minor surgery, knee surgery. He had a meniscus scoped last year. That's what cost him the back half. He says he is 100% healthy. Now we find out. But I just love that. That means this team now has 3 former #1 overalls. I just like the lineage of this. This is where they've got 10 former first-round picks on this team. Usually when you have that kind of legacy firepower, it just starts adding up, and they figure it out, and they go over the edge into big winning.
Well, Skip, this is what we know. From 2019 to now, out of 32 possible games, he's played 21. He has 3 sacks.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Okay, but I told you, your favorite website, Pro Football Focus, they liked him a lot last year in the brief time that he played because he can stop the run. Yeah. He's a dominant run stopper.
Skip, I'm paying that kind of money. I need to get the quarterback.
You didn't have to pay him that much.
Skip, they played Tennessee played him 14 million.
Tennessee did. No, I'm saying Cleveland.
They played him 10 million.
I don't know what the base is. It hadn't been reported yet, but it's probably like 5-ish to get to 10 with incentives.
Well, Skip, if that's the case, well, you got J.J. Watt on the other side. He should have been wrecking shop.
Okay.
He should have been did like a bull in the china shop.
I just got a feeling he's going to have a year. He's going to have his best year.
Okay. Well, I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I don't think you do, because now you're dug in that
Ravens.
That you would look wrong.
Ravens.
Browns.
Yeah, the Ravens,
Baker.
Browns. This is going to be interesting for us.
Oh, so you like Baker over Lamar, huh?
Yep, I do. I told you that yesterday. I'm not backing off. I liked him going into the draft. I like him now.
Yeah.
Is it okay that I'm already looking forward to the season starting?
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.